y'all, I'm Tetrafolly, and welcome to another Nerd Talk video. Sorry it's been for a while, but I've been kind of busy on the weekend, so I haven't been able to put something up for one of these videos. So, without further ado, let's get into what we're talking about this week, which is the Star Trek timeline, which is honestly a little confusing and a little interesting, actually. So, obviously, a lot of people, when they talk about the Star Trek timeline, are going to think the original series is first. That's not actually the case. Star Trek Enterprise, which is one of the later shows that they made, was actually the first Star Trek series in the chronological order. So that show takes place in it starts off in 2151 is the year that the first episode of Enterprise takes place. And the next one is when Enterprise ends, Season 4 of Enterprise, which ends in 2155. So, okay, after that you have to jump a little bit to get to where another Star Trek show is. After Star Trek the Enterprise series, you finally get to the original series. Season 1 of the Enterprise takes place in 2265. And 2265 is when the first episode of the original series takes place. So, yeah, that's gonna be fun. And then after that, things get a little weird, because when the Star Trek original series Season 3 ends, even during that run, like that year-wide, which would be 2269, there was the animated series of Star Trek, which was kind of an interesting little show. Really, really cheesy and corny if you ever watched it. Sad to say I have. It's not the best, but... So, that takes place between 2269 and 2270 in the Star Trek years. After that comes the original series motion picture, the movie, which spans a lot of years. So, it's 2271 through 2278 for the Star Trek years chronologically where they are, so it's a big time era. After that, we actually get two movies that take place chronologically in the same time era, the same year, which would be The Wrath of Khan and The Search of Spock in 2285. Kind of makes sense when you think about it. And then we've got a bunch of other little Star Trek original series movies and other Star Trek movies. We got Voyage Home, Final Frontier, and The Undiscovered Country, which all of those take place before 2293 for the Star Trek years. And after that, you do have to skip quite a bit, actually, in order to be able to get to another Star Trek thing, like another series. Next up is Next Gen, with Season 1 taking place in 2364. Oh, almost 100 years after the original series. So Next Gen runs for a while to 2369, which is when Season 7 ends. However, in 2368, that's when Deep Space Nine starts in Season 1. And Season 2 takes place in the last year of Next Gen. Season 2, Deep Space Nine, takes place in 2369, the same time as the last season of Next Generation. And then we get more hectic, because then you've got the rest of Deep Space Nine running congruently at the same time as the first few seasons of Voyager, and to add a little bit more to the confusion, 2 Next Generation movies take place during that time era too. So that's what's kind of cool about Deep Space Nine, Next Gen, and Voyager, is that they all take place at roughly the same time, like only mere years apart chronologically. First Contact and Insurrection take place during Voyager's first few seasons and Deep Space Nine's later seasons. And then, after Voyager ends, Season 7 being in 2378, in 2379 we've got the movie Nemesis. Now, a lot of you might be wondering, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. You haven't mentioned the newer movies. There's a reason for that, and that is because Star Trek, the reboot movies that they did, when I was researching info for this, actually flat out was admitted that it basically ignored the fact that the original series ever existed, and because it involved a much time travel. So some of the part of it takes place in 2387, years after like Nemesis and stuff like that occurred, and then it jumps back in time where Kirk's dad's killed, and the movie is basically what would have happened had Kirk not had his father there. So that gets a whole bunch of other wacky things. So if you're going off of the Star Trek movie, like the newer movies, that timeline, yeah, you're in for a little treat, because the Star Trek movie, the newer one, jumps to 2233 where Kirk's dad dies, and then it's 2240 all the way to 2249. And then, once again, it jumps again, and we land in 2255. And then it finally ends in 2258. Now, Into Darkness, where we're introduced to Khan and whatnot, takes place a year after the end of the movie, in 2259. Star Trek Beyond taking place a few years later in 2263. So yeah, that's why I kind of saved those for last, because they the way they mess up with the timeline, like, they're not part of the original group, the original series, or they basically started an entire timeline on their own. But they're not that bad. They could be a little better, but oh well. I'm not one to judge. I personally love all the movies. Star Trek Beyond is a good one. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's great. Alright then. Now is time for something different. And, well, not really. Now it's time to figure out what I'm going to be talking about next time. So, this should be fun. Okay, where's my hat? There it is. Got in my Majora's Mask hat here. And next time, we will be talking about, one of my favorite, you guys can't really see it, but one of my favorite, yeah, you can, it's white piece of paper, oh well. We're going to be talking about Doctor Strange. He is one of my favorite little newer Marvel Cinematic Universe editions. If it isn't clear by my little bobblehead here. He's really, I like him. Benedict Cumberbatch does a great job. I love Doctor Strange. He's awesome. That's going to be a lot of fun. If you guys want an input on what I'm going to be talking about each week, leave a comment down below of what you want to see me talking about. And be sure to subscribe if you want to see more from me. I do gameplay videos every day except on Saturdays, where I do this little talk show. So without further ado, see you guys next week. This is Tetra Folly signing off.